Piscitelli, we're going to have to wait a bit for any relief, right?
Next week. I think it's going to come next week. Monday, Tuesday, we'll get temperatures at least close to freezing, which would certainly be an improvement from the 20s that we have out there right now, right? Cold weather advisory tonight as that goes into effect at 7 p.m. this evening into tomorrow morning. Feels like temperatures close to 20 below in spots, so that's dangerous stuff. In the meantime, it's still cold. I mean, we are talking about single digits again this morning. 4 in Torrington, 7 degrees in Waterbury. We are about 9 below in Willimantic this morning, 2 below in Hartford now, and these are without the wind chill. 6 degrees currently in New Milford. Let's put the wind chill into motion here. Not a lot of wind to deal with this morning, which is definitely good. We have feels like temperatures close to, if not at, the actual air temperature this morning. It's 3 below in New Milford, though, 0 in New Haven. It feels like 0 degrees in Bridgeport this morning, too. So wind chill values will be anywhere from 2 to 4 below this morning, slightly lower in spots like in northeastern and northwestern Connecticut. And then temperatures this afternoon only feeling like the single digits through most of the day today. High temperatures around 22 degrees in Bristol, 23 in Hartford, 25 degrees in New Haven, and then 22 degrees in Montville. Thankfully, not a lot of wind to deal with this afternoon, which will help with our numbers. As we head towards the overnight hours tonight, though, we do have that cold weather advisory. A lot of us will be waking up sub-zero for tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon around 16 degrees, and that is about it for daytime highs despite the sunshine. Then for our Saturday, temperatures will be around 4 below in the overnight hours, 21 in the afternoon. A very cold morning for Saturday, and then we are watching that snow for Sunday. Here's the breakdown this morning. So Connecticut is living on the edge of snow. It gets pretty close, but we aren't looking at a blockbuster storm right now, given the latest guidance. It does look like we'll still get pretty gusty winds out of the north to northeast, 30 to 40 miles per hour, even if the storm misses, and there could be some minor coastal flooding issues as well. We'll break down the couple scenarios still on the table this morning, coming up in just around 15 minutes. Here at 6:02, largely quiet. A lot of the road work has cleared for the morning commute if it was out there. So your drives here look just fine. Here's a look at a cold start to our morning. That's for sure. New this morning, though, cold weather advisory into tonight, as we do have these bitter cold numbers that are expected to continue to impact our state. Now the cold continues, and next we are watching that chance for some snow and wind for Sunday. We're going to break down the latest guidance coming up in just a minute. Here's the breakdown for the latest scenarios for Sunday. Right now, for those that are keeping track, American model here, the GFS shows that windy conditions, but snow is a miss for our area. It does look like there could be some greater impacts for parts of the Cape as well as the islands given this scenario. Here's a European model, which actually brings the snow a little bit further to the west, which would mean eastern Connecticut gets clipped with some snow. It does look like if this scenario happens, that there is a sharp cutoff between a dumping of snow, which would be over in the Cape and some of the islands, and a manageable amount of snow for eastern Connecticut. Either way, either scenario, it does bring wind to our state, gusting closer to 40 to 45 miles per hour as this storm continues to rapidly intensify. If we lean a little bit further into the European model, you'll see that heavy snow chance is further to the east. We do have a chance, though, for accumulating snow in eastern Connecticut. Right now, temperatures are cold, 8 degrees in Windsor, rather 8 below in Windsor Locks this morning. It feels like 9 below in Willimantic, 2 below in Groton, so certainly dressing appropriately for those numbers out the door. Satellite and radar picture is quiet. Feels like temperatures today will be in the teens for most of the day, if not the lower teens, as temperatures move into the lower 20s this afternoon. 23 in Willimantic and 26 in New Haven under a partly sunny sky. It is mostly clear tonight. Temperatures rolling back into the single digits. A lot of us will be waking up sub-zero for tomorrow. That cold weather advisory in effect through 11 a.m. for Friday. Friday afternoon temperatures, this is it. 16 degrees in Hartford, 13 in Torrington, and around 20 degrees in New Haven. It's going to be a chilly and raw day with another cold snap on the way Saturday into, well, rather Friday night into Saturday morning. Here's Saturday is going to be dry for us. Here's Sunday, showing you the European model a little bit further. You can see this storm rapidly intensifies and gets stronger as it continues to push off the coast, and then bringing us a potential for snow in eastern Connecticut. It does look like it's a more significant snow event for our friends to the south of us, like in the Carolinas, but you can see that sharp cutoff between little bit of snow, couple of inches of snow, and a lot of snow for our friends to the east. So it does bear watching over the coming days. Monday, temperatures will be around 34 degrees. We'll get some melting Monday, as well as Tuesday, partly cloudy skies on Tuesday. Temperatures will be in the middle to upper 30s. Brent.
In your Fox 61 business report, UPS says it's cutting up to 30,000 jobs. The shipper says it will reduce staff through gradual layoffs and voluntary separation offers.
Quite a few days, and it's not going anywhere, right?
Yeah, however you dress for the last couple of days, keep it coming, and maybe add a layer or two this morning, and then again for tomorrow too, as we do have a cold weather advisory back into the forecast for tonight into tomorrow, as we are expecting those numbers to be sub-zero in spots waking up tomorrow morning. In the meantime, we have those numbers out there now. So it feels like 9 below in Willimantic, 2 below in Hartford, 7 in Waterbury, and 10 right now in New Haven. And when you factor even the slightest wind, we don't have a lot of wind to talk about, and that's really been a good thing so far. There hasn't been strong winds to add to these numbers, although the wind kicks back in a little bit tonight into tomorrow, and that's why we have that cold weather advisory posted. It feels like 14 below in Putnam, 8 below in Torrington, 7 right now in Waterbury, and it feels like 0 in New Haven when the wind does gust. Now, moving forward today, feels like temperatures will be anywhere from about 8 to 15 degrees when all is said and done. So it is another cold one, despite our numbers being in the lower to middle distance. Now, we still are watching this, trying to figure out exactly how much snow we're going to get from this storm, but it does look like the models are trending in the right direction as this storm being largely a miss. Now, eastern Connecticut could pick up the most snow, but it does look like there's going to be a sharp cutoff between a lot of snow and manageable snowfall. Either way, even if the storm misses us, gusts towards 30 to 40 miles per hour are possible on Sunday. We'll talk a little bit more about that in detail coming up in just a bit. Here at 6:32, we are quiet across the state with the exception of our delays that are pretty standard over in Fairfield County this morning. So we do have some minor ones as you're traveling on 95 this morning. Otherwise, Windsor and Cromwell look fine on 91. A live look outside over in New Haven, just out by Long Wharf. And then over in Fairfield County, we do have a few brake lights that you can see on your screen this morning, slowing you down just a bit. Over to you.
All right, Rachel, thanks. 6:33 now. We have developing news.
I just want to say thank you once again for doing that little research.
Yes.
It's interesting.
I liked getting that homework assignment.
She gave Matt the homework assignment yesterday, too, and we're still waiting for that result.
He's like, oh, that's not the important stuff.
Well, I think it's very interesting.
I do too, because it feels like we're going a really long time with not
getting a break,
getting above freezing.
We had that one day where temperatures made it to around 44 degrees. I think it was last Friday.
Was it last Friday?
It's hard to
before the storm.
Yeah,
feels like a blur.
It feels like we've been there for quite some time, that's for sure. But 1970, I believe it was 21 days were in January that were below freezing.
Was it 15 consecutive days below freezing? That's the record.
Yes,
16 consecutive days below freezing.
I don't know if it's the record, but it's just what I've seen so far. So it seems to be the longest.
If you lived through that, we're sorry. Yeah, I hope you're still getting through it.
Yeah, 2023 didn't have any days in January below freezing, so there you go for that. That was nice.
We don't have it that bad, so we should try not to complain.
Yeah, but it certainly feels cold outside this morning. I mean, it's been just a really prolonged stretch of just brutal weather. Taking a look at what you need to know now, we do have this cold weather advisory that is in effect for tonight. A lot of us will be sub-zero in spots. Now the cold continues, and next we are watching that chance for some snow. I know a lot of folks are kind of keeping their eye on Sunday, whether or not you love or you're just over the snow. It looks like this isn't going to be a blockbuster storm. The latest trends are trending in that direction. Either way, though, it does look like we're going to get some wind in the mix on Sunday. So we'll talk about a couple of scenarios still on the table in just a moment. Here's that cold weather advisory that begins this evening at 7 o'clock through 11 a.m. on Friday. Wind chill values close to 20 below in spots away away from the shoreline. So the concern there is that frostbite and hypothermia for exposed skin. Now, taking a look at the storm scenarios for Sunday, we're just going to get right to it this morning. Looking at the American model, this shows that this is going to be a miss for snow with the greatest impacts to the east, but it does still remain windy. So this would be a scenario where we don't get a lot of snow from this. Even the European model right now shows that there will be a sharp cutoff between a lot of snow for our friends to the east of us and manageable snow for eastern Connecticut, and western Connecticut getting little to nothing at all. And it's also going to be windy on Sunday as well. So if we lean a little bit further into that European model, you'll see heavy snow. That chance is greater for our friends to the east of us, like in Cape Cod and the islands, as well as parts of Rhode Island, whereas us here locally in eastern Connecticut would get some snow, all manageable, and maybe some light snow for central and western Connecticut, but not a blockbuster storm. The concern would be more so the winds gusting closer to 40 to 50 miles per hour with some snow drifts as well. Temperatures out the door, 3 degrees in Meriden, 0 right now is what it feels like in New Haven. We have another morning that is just bitter cold. Satellite and radar picture is quiet. Today we are going to spend get into the teens and the single digits this morning, and then in the teens in the afternoon, despite our numbers getting into the lower 20s as well. 22 degrees in Willimantic, another cold one, 23 in Hartford under a partly sunny sky. Tonight, temperatures are rolling back into the single digits, a lot of us waking up sub-zero, and with a little bit of wind that starts to kick in tonight and into tomorrow, it's taking those numbers down to sub-zero in spots. Tomorrow afternoon, this is it, 14 degrees in Torrington, 16 in Hartford, 17 degrees the high temperature in Groton, and then Friday night into Saturday, I wouldn't be surprised if we have another cold weather advisory for Friday night into Saturday, as a lot of us will be waking up sub-zero for areas inland. Saturday is a dry day, and then on Sunday, here's the European model that brings some snow to the area Sunday into Sunday night, and also seeing some really gusty winds along with it too. Now, showing you the greatest impacts likely going to be for our friends to the south and the areas in the Carolinas. You can see that sharp cutoff between manageable snow in our state and a lot of snow for areas in Cape Cod and the islands and even Rhode Island. So it's something that bears watching, because even a jog 50 miles closer to our area would bring a little bit more snow. 50 miles to the south would bring little to nothing, like the GFS suggests. Then we are going to see a rebound in the numbers, 34 on